Hi everyone, I'm Kay. I'm a writer, editor, and translator between Hindi and English, based in South India. I want to thank the organizers of the Jill reading series and Sonakshi for inviting me to read. And it is my pleasure to introduce and read work by Shahadat, one of my favorite Hindi writers. Shahadat in Hindi and Urdu, or Hindustani as it used to be called, means witness. Since the theme of this series is domesticity, I'm going to read an edited excerpt from an unpublished story called Ek Aurat Ka Khwab, or A Woman's Dream. Like many of Shahadat's stories, the unnamed protagonist of this one is a witness to the life of his elder cousin sister and how it changes from a childhood filled with love and ambition to one of selfless domesticity after marriage. The painstaking details of the sisters, now a housewife with children, her domestic life brings to mind the 1975 film Jean Dilmo by Chantal Ackerman, and more recently the Malayalam film The Great Indian Kitchen. Before I read though, just a little background about the author. Shahadat is the author of two short story collections, Aadi Safar Ka Hum Safar and Curfew Ki Raat, which was shortlisted for the Yuva Sahitya Puraskar, an award for young writers given out by the Sahitya Academy of India. Shahadat is also a translator between Urdu, Arabic, and Hindi. He has translated the Pakistani writer Hijab Imtiaz Ali's short story collection, Sanobar Ke Sae, and Zahir Delvi's memoir on the 1857 revolt, Dastan-e 1857, or The Tale of 1857. Shahadat's stories, which would probably be classified as social realism, have garnered praise as well as controversy for their frank portrayal of the Muslim experience in Hindu supremacist India, queer love, and their critique of orthodoxy and misogyny within the Indian Muslim community. It is also worth noting that Shahadat writes in Hindi, a language with roots in Hindu nationalism and Islamophobia, and whose literary sphere is dominated by elite caste Hindus. I also want to add that literary magazines and publishers in both Hindi and English often speak favorably of Shahadat's stories, but they hesitate to publish them, fearing backlash or legal censure. This happened most recently with an English magazine. My translation of one of his stories was accepted for publication, and after two rounds of edits, and a couple of days before publication, the story was killed due to legal and safety concerns. Given these recent disappointments, it is a great pleasure to be given this opportunity. So, without further ado, here is an excerpt from A Woman's Dream. Sara Fatima was my uncle's eldest daughter. We were roughly 10 years apart, but the age gap did not come in the way of our friendship. The time I spent with Sara Fatima at my grandmother's house during our school holidays was part of many fond memories there, including bathing in the river, going to the fields, playing kai danda in the mango orchard opposite the Eidgah, and grazing the lambs. She was a hand taller than me. Her hair medium height and beautiful. Her hair was thick and skin dusky. She had sharp features and big eyes with long eyelashes. She wore a delicate gold pin with a tiny white pearl in her left nostril. That pearl shone like a star in the sunlight, burnishing her beauty. At my nani or grandmother's house, I spent the days loitering around with my local friends, and the nights I spent with her. We often slept on the roof, which our aunt or mumani would sprinkle with water and sweep after sunset. Then she spread out a big tarpaulin sheet and a heavy but soft and silky mat which covered the entire rooftop. One of my uncle's city friends had gifted that mat to them. Then our bedding was spread on the same mat, and we slept on it after having dinner around the clay stove in the courtyard. Our beds were next to each other, so after lying down, I would sidle up next to her, or she would come lie next to me. And under the open sky, with infinite, faraway stars twinkling like fireflies, which later, when the moon rose after nightfall, dimmed their light and hid God knows where, we would talk about those stars, the rain, my school, and her dreams. Her dream was to study, a lot. It was the basis of all her ambition. If I can study as much as I want, my other dreams would come true on their own, she told me once. Sara Fatima's marital home was well built, as Ammi had said. The walls and roof were painted white, the floors were marble. Every surface was washed clean and shiny. Sara put me in one of the two big rooms beyond the drawing room on the ground floor. There was a big veranda between the drawing room and the two bedrooms, with two sofas separated by a big glass table. After showing me to my room, Sara brought me water and then lunch. She sat next to me as I ate. We did not speak at all. After I finished eating, she put away the vessels and simply said, "Rest a little now." Then she went upstairs and I lay down on the bed with velvet sheets. I saw her next after the Maghrib prayer in the evening, when her younger son called me for dinner. I looked at the clock, it was 7:30, and went upstairs. On the fine tablecloths in the hall, there were dishes of mutton and chicken, rice, rotis, a salad, and gulab jamun for dessert. Her husband, my brother-in-law, was on the table. I washed my hands and sat across from him. His two sons, smiling shyly in the presence of a new guest, sat down on either side of their father. I was seeing them for the first time, her husband and her children. She also had two daughters, I found out. The husband was a healthy man of average height, a fair, slightly reddish face with a thick black beard, narrow eyes, and a round nose. His belly had come out a bit, or perhaps it looked like that to me because he was sitting down. Still, he looked agreeable and deserving of Sara Fatima. There was a little less salt in the food, the husband complained, and Sara Fatima immediately brought the salt shaker from the kitchen. When we started on the salad, he informed us that it did not have the appropriate dressing. Sara again went to the kitchen and brought the dressing. The water was room temperature. He wanted it slightly cold. Sara went to the kitchen, opened the double-door refrigerator, and brought a steel bottle with slightly cold water. In between all of this, we ate and talked. He asked me about my studies and upcoming interview, and in return told me about his business and its ups and downs. After eating, I washed my hands and sat down, and the conversation continued. In between, Sara Fatima had cleared the dirty vessels, leftover bones, pieces of roti, the empty salad plate, and other scattered things from the table back to the kitchen. Soon after, we moved the conversation to the bedroom, where she brought us 2 cups of hot tea. We drank our tea and watched their younger son and daughter do their homework. Afterwards, the man of the house spread out horizontally on his bed, and I came downstairs. The next day, I woke up from the commotion of the children's morning rush. After staying in bed for a bit, I came upstairs. I hadn't brushed. Sara Fatima was out in the hall tying her younger son's shoelaces. Then she started brushing her younger daughter's hair. In the middle of all this, she was telling her elder daughter about the books she was supposed to take to school that day. The elder son had gotten ready by himself. Only his tie was not done. He stood in front of the mirror and waited for his mother. After brushing her daughter's hair, Sara saw me. "You're awake? Did you just wake up?" "Yes, I heard the kids getting ready," I said. This is a daily drama with them. When they come back from school, it's as if they've been let out of prison. Then their clothes are somewhere, bags somewhere else. In the evenings, they remember they have homework and take their books out and leave them all over the house. Now, only in the morning do they remember that they have to take the books too. So they set about looking for them. She spoke in one breath. "Look over there. Maybe it's under the bed," she said to her elder daughter, who was searching for a social science textbook. Then Sara Fatima turned to me. I don't know whether I should get them ready for school, look for their books, or make them breakfast. After toiling for another 15 minutes, she finally got the kids ready. The textbooks were located and the bags packed. Then she rushed to the kitchen and reheated the breakfast she had cooked at the crack of dawn. The kids ate and left for school. As soon as they left, she started gathering the night's clothes, slippers scattered here and there, combs, hair oil bottles, cold cream, and who knows what else. Then she made the beds, arranging the pillows, folding the blankets, and opened the curtains in each room. I was sitting on one side of the hall through all this. Soon she picked up the broom and started sweeping. After about half an hour when she was done, she washed her hands and went into the kitchen. The breakfast table was laid out elaborately, like the previous night. Dry fruits, bananas, apples, dates, parathas, different kinds of savory biscuits, along with tea and a jug of warm milk, were served. Feeling the milk jug with his hand, Bhai Sahib said, "This is too hot. Cool it down and bring it back." Sara Fatima appeared instantly and took the milk jug into the kitchen. Then she poured a cup of tea and pushed it towards me. Next, she pulled a banana out of the bunch on the table and placed it beside my tea. I peeled it and started eating. Then I had 2 almonds and a walnut, and Sara Fatima brought the cooled milk. She sat down near us, not at the table with us, but at a chair in the corner. As we ate, Bhai Sahib asked me, "Looks like you don't read namaz?" "Not much," I said as I took the first bite of the paratha. "You should pray. It's not that difficult." "I think a person should be honest before being devout," I replied. "Sure, I suppose, but that's a bit difficult." "What's the use of prayer without integrity?" I asked. Bhai Sahib did not respond. After eating, we got up from the table. Bhai Sahib went into the bedroom and I sat down in the chair next to Sara. But as soon as I took my seat, she got up and started clearing the table, picking up the dishes one by one and taking them into the kitchen. Soon Bhai Sahib came out of his room. "All right, son, I'm off to work. See you in the evening," he said, and left the house. I kept sitting in my chair watching Sara Fatima in the kitchen. After about 20 minutes, she finally got a cup of tea and 2 parathas and sat down next to me. She spoke about her mother, our younger cousins, and her home as she ate. After finishing, she took a cup and played back into the kitchen. When she came back out, she said, "You still have an hour before you leave. Go rest for a bit. I'll mop the floors until then. I have to sweep the downstairs as well. Then I'll wash and iron the clothes. The kids should be home by that time. I have to make lunch for them too." I came down. When I went to say bye to her before leaving for my interview, she was sitting near the washing machine, cleaning meat for the lunch. The machine was on and I could hear clothes splashing around it in soapy water. When she saw me waving, her hand stopped and she looked at me. "I'm making keema karela today. You'll be back by the afternoon, no?" "I don't know, maybe I'll be late." "I'll save some for you," she said. When I came back in the evening, she was still in the kitchen. Her elder son had gone out to play cricket with friends. The younger daughter was doing homework on the sofa in the veranda. The elder daughter, whose first name was the same as her mother's, Sara, brought me a glass of water. Then suddenly we heard a hissing sound from the kitchen. Sara and I ran towards it. The next second, the elder Sara Fatima appeared at the kitchen door pressing her thumb. She had cut it while chopping vegetables, and now it was oozing blood. "Is it bad?" I asked. The pain was obvious on her face. She kept wiping the thumb with a dupatta. In response to my query, she lifted her face for a second, then the dupatta from her thumb, and said, No, it's just a little cut. These things keep happening." When Bhai Sahib came back at 8 in the evening, the spectacle from the previous night was replayed. Hands were washed, the table was set, faults in the food were pointed out, and Sara Fatima ran around addressing every complaint and fulfilling every whim. The boys ate with us on the table. Sara Fatima ate with the girls after us on the same dirty table. Then again, a round of tea and conversation about my interview and his business. When the clock struck 9, Baizab left for the Isha prayer, and I started reminiscing about our time at my uncle, Sara Fatima's father's place. Sara smiled a lot as we spoke, laughed too, and recounted many incidents about me that I'd forgotten, but that I myself had forgotten in a way. So, she spoke softly. Only the last round of your interview is left now. After that, you're gonna go back? Yes, one has to go back. I smiled. I was able to speak to someone at least when you were here. It felt good. Now, after you leave, all that will go away too. Why? I asked. Are you not happy? Your life is so good here. She looked at me and then looked down. Her eyes were tearing up. After a pause, she said, Yes, everything is good, yes. I'm happy too, but I don't know why. A sadness descended on her face. Its characteristic shine had disappeared, and a pensive expression took its place. You, of all people, should know, she spoke again, as if coming back from somewhere far away. Sometimes I feel like leaving all this behind and going somewhere far away. So far that no one can find me, neither my husband, my kids, or my relatives. I want to go to a place where there is no such thing as a kitchen.